this episode of Know Your Body, we welcome Dave Roberts, manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. You might know Dave from his storied career as a Major League Baseball player or a 3-time World Series champion, but we know him best as a patient.
Great to have you here, Dave.
Thank you, Doc. It was a good process, good experience for me.
Our pleasure. I want to go back to a moment in time in 2017, World Series, Game 7. My wife and I are big Dodgers fans, and we come to Game 7. We got tickets, which were not cheap. So one opportunity to see the Dodgers win at home. And then, as we all know, that didn't happen, and we found out years later that the Astros had actually cheated. What was your thought process during the game, then after you found out?
During the game, it was more of, I just felt Yu Darvish just didn't have his good stuff, and those guys were on everything that he had. And even going back in this series, they just really swung the bats well, and I thought we played better. And then so as it comes out later that there was a cheating scandal, very angry, disappointed. And then you, as a manager, you got to find a way to kind of reconcile it, but still move forward. And fortunately, the last 5 years, recently, we've won 3 championships. So I think as an organization, as a fan base, we did a good job to try to get past it as best we could, but it still lingers.
I think it's karma. You guys were cheated upon, but then you end up winning, like you said, the three championships.
Yeah. And I think that you can live life by making an excuse or keep moving forward and learn from it. And I think the lesson for us was that you can overcome something and still find some success.
That's great. I love that. Tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are now as the manager of the Dodgers.
I was just a guy that played all sports and, try to do enough in school and try to treat people the right way. And I think the one thing that I was good at was trying to stay focused on the present and not to be too concerned about the future and the uncertainty of that, right? So I think for me, it's just dominating in high school. Then I bet on myself and being a recruited walk-on to UCLA where I played baseball. Didn't earn a scholarship till my second year, and then was a 28th round draft pick out of college after 4 years and signed for a whopping $1,000.
Wow.
And then
$1,000 for the whole season?
That was my signing bonus.
Okay.
And then I played 5 years in the minor leagues, making nothing. And then I found a way to get to the big leagues and play for 10 years and became a coach. And then ultimately 10 years later now, I've been a manager for the Dodgers. So it's something that I've never been able to, it's just beyond my wildest dreams.
That's fantastic. Yeah, your story is phenomenal because you really just rose to the ranks. And now you're the manager of the World Series champions, which is phenomenal.
No, it is. I never, forecasted that, but I do think that it's something to kind of just be where your feet are at, and that's what I've done a pretty good job of that.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thinking about the Dodgers, what do you see for their future and what do you see for your future?
I think that we are, one of the top organizations in all of sports. And I think that if you can look at even the business model, I think in the world, we're pretty successful and consistent over a long period of time. Yeah. Just continue to be honest with how you go about things and player evaluation and staff evaluation and try to, keep to the standard that we've had, and I think excellence is something that is hard to get to and even harder to sustain. But it's being honest, it's being honest with yourself and trying to find, recognize blind spots, honest, hard conversations with yourself. But I would expect we continue to win.
How was this series against the Blue Jays? Because, we were, I say we because I'm a big Dodgers fan, but we were down and I was nervous, but then found a way to come back. Walk me through that. How are you thinking from a manager? Did you make any drastic decisions or did you just kind of keep going with what you were doing?
Yeah, I think that you keep going with what you're doing, but then there's also a point in a World Series you don't have tomorrow, essentially. And so then I think at the end of the day, I bet on people. You take analytics, you take information, you take a sample size of performance. But at the end of the day, you've got to make a decision on who you're going to, go to battle with and, bet on. And if you don't win, who do you feel good about, running out there? And so I think for me, it's a chess match, but at the end of the day, our players performed when they needed to. And we were down 3-2 in the World Series. going into Toronto in a best of 7. So we had our backs against the wall, but our guys persevered and continue to fight. And I think with championships over a season, over a series, you've got to get some breaks. So we got a couple breaks, but we also performed, and but it was a great World Series.
Probably one of the best World Series.
Maybe one of the best of all time.
Do you have a favorite of the World Series that you've won?
The most recent one.
It's always the...
Or what does Michael Jordan say? The next one. I won one as a player in 2004 with the Red Sox.
You had that stolen base.
I had the stolen base in 2004 in the ALCS. Won one in COVID, which was a challenge in itself, as we can all agree. It was the first one as a manager, which is special. And then you beat the Yankees, which is Dodgers-Yankees, so it's always fun beating the Yankees. Yeah. So that's kind of special in itself. And then, last year, to be the first team in 25 years since the Yankees to win back-to-back championships. So they're all unique.
Growing up, who was your favorite player?
I was a speed guy, runner, stolen base guy, so Ricky Henderson was the GOAT. Ricky Henderson was my guy, but living in San Diego, I love Tony Gwynn as well.
Oh yeah, Tony Gwynn. Yeah. Were you a Padres fan growing up?
I was a Padres fan, because that was the team. I grew up in San Diego, and I really ironically didn't like the Dodgers. So I love the Dodgers now. But I was in San Diego, so that was my team.
And you played for the Dodgers for a bit too.
I did. I played for the Dodgers for 3 years. It was great. I went to UCLA for 4 years, played for the Dodgers for 3 years. So just to be back in Southern California, and I got an opportunity to play for the Padres for 2 years and coach for the Padres. So I've been spoiled as far as kind of geography with my baseball career.
Ricky played for the Padres at some point.
He played at the end. So Ricky played for the Padres for a minute, broke a record. I think the most runs scored, broke that record. And then I actually had a chance to play with Ricky Henderson in 2003 for a quick minute.
Oh,
so
really?
That was something really special for me.
That's amazing. Oh, wow. I'm jealous. Ricky Henderson was my favorite player as well. So similar. I was a speed guy. And,
See, but you're a lot smarter than me because you became a doctor, and I'm a baseball coach.
And you're doing a lot better than I am.
No, I don't know about that.
Kind of going to the scan part, what brought you into CoreViva? What made you want to get a scan?
Yeah, so my wife has a doctor in Beverly Hills, and just was kind of talking about overall health. But then we have a primary doctor, Dr. Graham in San Diego. And so we've been with Dr. Graham, and so she sort of shared that information with Dr. Graham, and then Dr. Graham shared it with me, and then I was open because I think for me, I like information.
Yeah.
I'm a cancer survivor. Whatever markers there might be, if I would get that information before, then we can deal with it before it's too late. And then also, as a 53-year-old former athlete, I've got some joint things going on. So I figured if I can do a one-stop shop, then I'll know course of action going forward. So it was an easy process. I've been in an MRI machine many times over. It was quick. The physicians were great. So it was great. And it was actually great because you and I had a chance to talk over the scan like in real time right afterward. So that was something really unique.
What did you find most insightful from the scan?
I don't have any cancer markers, so that was good. Whenever you do something like this, there's a hold your breath moment.
Of course.
That was an exhale with my spine and some of the arthritic stuff that I've got, degenerative stuff, to know how to sort of rehab it, to tend to it before it gets really bad. I've got some joint things that really popped for me that validated why I have some pain over the last couple of years. So that's been helpful. My brain is still working, so that's good. So it's a healthy brain. Overall, I feel it was really good, and I'm very grateful.
Oh, thanks. We're grateful to have you. Any advice or any tips you have for folks out there that either want to become an athlete or are in their athletic career and want to become maybe a manager?
Yeah, I think that, athletics is very good in a lot of ways. I think that the adversity part, the hard work, the discipline, the teamwork, all that stuff has certain life skills, but it's hard to be an elite athlete. But I do think that it gives you opportunity to get a good friend group. It gives you opportunity to potentially go to college, leveraging that skill to get to college, potentially getting into sports or professionally. But I think that it's grit, it's toughness, it's a short memory in some senses that you can't kind of let that bleed into the next, game, the next match, the next set, whatever it might be, the next at bat, which is not easy. I tell my son all the time, professional sports isn't for everybody. It's a long journey. I think as far as coaching is leadership, it's building culture, it's being selfless, it's managing your ego. And I'll be the first to say that I have a big ego, and I've had to manage that over years, because when you're a coach, it's about the players. And so you've got to really check your ego. That's something that I've had to really come to grips with, but I'm better for it. But yeah, you got to still love to do it. Yeah. So, but like I think with anything, I have 2 kids. You got to love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, it's going to be hard to be good at it.
Right. I always give advice to folks that when you're thinking about career path or just anything you want to do, think about 2 factors. 1, do you love it?
Yeah.
2, are you good at it?
Yeah.
If you're good at it and you love it, you're going to succeed.
You're going to succeed.
Yeah, I think
that's right. That's right.